there, welcome to Elm Colors. I'm Erica. On today's video, we are doing the third in the Witchtober series of videos. Today is going to be Forest Witch, and I'm going to be coloring a page from Witch Season by Yana Prosperina. I love this book, and I do not have any finished pages in there yet, so I decided it was time. So this is the book, or this is the page. I already told you the book. This is the page we're going to be doing. I'm going to be doing, and the color palette I will put up on screen just so you guys can see kind of where I might be going with that. I do have some colors pulled. I'm going to be working again with alcohol markers and then some kind of pencils over top, probably my Prismacolors again, but I might bring in some Black Widows because I like to use my Black Widows on Yana's pages as well. So all right, well, I think I'm just going to go ahead and jump right in. I'll show you a little bit of the alcohol marker work. And then we'll pop back in and do a little bit of coloring on the witch, actually. So I'll probably have all the background done and then come back and we'll work on the witch. But I like to kind of give you the before shot so you can see what it looks like beforehand, and then bits and pieces as we go through. So yeah, so I will be right back with you guys. I'll talk to you again here in a second. Okay, so this is where we're at right now. I did go through and shaded all of the trees. You saw a little bit of this one back here, and the leaves, and the bird, and the ground, and everything. So just went through with my pencils, my Prismacolor pencils, and shaded. I'm going to do some marker work on the witch here, and then we'll kind of get into some of the shading on her as well. And then I'm going to do a little bit with the sky in the background, I think, for you guys as well. So yeah, so I'm just going to do some marker work really quick on her, and I will be right back with you guys. Okay, so we zoomed in a little bit so that I can show you a little bit of what I'm going to do to her skin. So I'm using just this E01 Copic marker for the base, and then I'm going to use the burnt sienna as my shadow color. So I'm just going to go around and add that wherever I think shadows would be. Like, I'm not going to go crazy with the shading, just in a couple spots. And then I'm going to use the peach to blend that out a little bit. Hopefully that'll blend out. That side's a little dark. We're gonna have to start over, I think, and that's okay. I didn't want it to be quite that dark, so I'm gonna go with a lighter shade. So we're gonna try with the, I don't even know what this one is. I think this is burnt sienna, maybe. This is burnt ochre. So we'll try to do a little bit with that one and see if that's a better shade. Trying to use a pretty light hand for the shading as well, because I don't want it to be overwhelming. But I mean, it would be kind of dark along the top. I'm also going to add in some purple. This Parma Violet really is one of the ones that I like to use a lot for shading, especially when you have like a peachy based skin. It's a good layering color in it. Once you layer it with other colors, it makes those browns like even darker. Yeah, I kind of like that. Just give everything a once over really quick. Oop. I always have my eraser handy too, especially when I'm doing little faces like this, because I always mess up. And then you just have to try again. I'm looking for, there it is. Sorry, I was looking for my eraser. My teeny tiny eraser. Whatever I did to her lip, I don't like, and whatever I did to her chin, I don't like. So I'm just gonna take it back a little bit. All right, I'm gonna bring this peach down on this side. A little bit more. Okay. Now I know it looks rough, especially when you're this close, but we're just gonna leave it, because this is not like, I mean, yes, this is supposed to be about the Forest Witch, but the whole page together is really what brings it to life. I'm gonna add a little bit of blush pink to her cheeks. And then I'm gonna use just the white to blend things together as best I can. All right, bring in a little bit more of this blush pink around here. And then one more time with a nice dark color underneath her chin. We'll use this 90% French gray. See if I can get this as dark as I think it should be. Okay. All right, so now I'm just going back through and trying to darken up with shadows here and there, switching between my Parma and my, what is this, Sienna Brown. Yep, I think she's good. So there's her face. I'll do her arms separately. Her hair was the other thing that I wanted to talk about, because this is going to be, so this is really just the base color. It's going to be much darker than this. So we're going to go with the pumpkin orange. I'm going to grab the terracotta, the burnt ochre, and a little bit of, let's try this one. We'll do a little bit of the mineral, not mineral orange, goldenrod. I think that'll be the last color. Yep. All right, let me get these nice and sharp. So I'm going to start with the terracotta, and that's going to go in the darkest areas. And so this is going to be kind of like a block shading. So I know I want a little bit of highlight right there, and then this area here is all going to be in shadow, and then this area is going to be highlighted, and then this area is going to be in shadow. I'm going to kind of do that all the way down. And then I can kind of extend colors here and there. Yeah. And then along the face. There we go. Okay. So same thing on this side. I'm just going to kind of try to visualize the areas that I think should be in highlight. So this area right here kind of curves outwards. So that area is going to be in highlight, and down here is going to be in shadow. Actually, that's going to continue right down into this, and then this area this way is going to be highlighted again, so this area would be in shadow. And again, those are highlighted, and these are in shadow. Okay. I know it looks crazy, but trust the process. So I used, what was that one? I used terracotta on that one, right? Yeah. And then I'm just going to go straight to the pumpkin orange, because I don't think this is going to need a ton of colors in it. This is the technique that I use when I do hair in Lulu Mayo books too, because the hair is always it's got a few lines in there, and but they're not really drawn out super well, so you just kind of have to guess where the highlights and stuff are going to be. All right, I'm going to do the goldenrod, and that's going to kind of blend those together. I'm going with the darker color. I was really trying to get that orange color, that really pretty orange color that's in the palette, because I want that on the page because I think it's beautiful. All right, so now I'm going to go back to the terracotta, and anywhere where there are some of these texture lines, I'm going to do that, and I'm also going to try to flick in some color. And then once I get her outfit all colored in, I can also come back in and draw in some extra little strands of hair if I feel like it needs to happen. Okay, let me get a few more little pieces in there. I feel like maybe just a little bit more pumpkin. There we go. And then I'm going to use the eggshell to try to blend a little bit again and bring in some of those highlights. And if I need to, I can always add in some Posca as well to add in the highlights and stuff. But I think she looks all right. Yeah, so I'm gonna zoom out again. Well, no, I'll just leave you there because you guys are pretty close to, right? Yeah. All right, so we'll just go ahead and do the shading on her hat and her shirt. Kind of the same process. I'm gonna use, I think I'm gonna try to use this ginger root. No, that's too close. So let me just grab the artichoke, which is right next to it. I'm gonna use the artichoke and the ginger root to shade on her shirt. I'm also going to bring in the sandbar brown just to make it a little darker in a couple of spots. All right, and her leather corset here, I'm using 947. I don't know which one this is. Dark umber for the darkest shading. And then I'll use the light umber to blend that out a little bit. Not a perfect match, but it's okay. All right, and then I will use the eggshell again to kind of add in a little bit of a highlight on the areas where the waist is, along the top here, a little bit along the edges. I'm going to use a gold sparkle pop pen. No, this is the Link Shine, to do these little buckles right here. Yeah, and then we need to do the belt and the skirt, so that's going to be next. Okay, so I have dark green here. I'm going to add in the shading for that. Blend that out with a little bit of Prussian green. Same colors on the belt as well. Okay, and then I'm going to use I'm going to try to use the lime peel for some highlights on this. No, I don't think that's going to work. I think I'm going to have to use I'm going to have to use the chartreuse instead. There we go. That's giving me what I wanted. Okay, and then on her hat, I'm going to use the Prussian green and the lime peel, I think, for the shading. All right, a couple more embellishments. I'm going to use the gold ink pen to do the embellishment there and the moon on her hat. And then I think the last little things we have to do are that little, what is that, a sickle? Is that what that's called? I think so. So we have got to do that guy and the cauldron. Okay, I'm going to color this really quick and I will be right back with you guys. All right, so last thing I want to do is add some stars in the sky. I have some stickles, I have a white pen, and I have a blue pen because I kind of want to do a mixture of both of these. I don't want to do a ton of stars, but I want a few. And I don't want them to be like super bright, so I'm going to try this blue first and see what happens with that. I'm just gonna do a few dots. This isn't like, I'm not going crazy. And that just kind of adds a little bit extra into the background without it being like super bright and taking away, but I do want to add a little bit of stickles because I can't help it to, of course, let's not open. Add a little stickles to the moon. And I think that she's done. That's really all I wanted to do with this. The forest aspect of this is really, really the forest around her and her outfit. So that's really where I was getting, you know, wanting to put most of the color. So let me move this over the side so you can, I'm going to zoom out just a little bit more. There we go. So now you can see the whole page. I've got a plethora of pencils over here to the side that I used, but really like the way this one turned out. I could go in and add a few more things, but I'm okay with how it is. I really do like it. Maybe, now that I'm saying that, maybe one more thing if I can find what I'm looking for. Yeah, I might add some orange stickles to some of the leaves. I think I am gonna do that. Just a few here and there. Nothing crazy. Okay, there we go. Got my stickles in. I don't even know if you guys can even see that I've put stickles on there, but it's just adds a nice little subtle hint to the leaves, and I don't know, I just like the way it looks. Anyway, so I'll put the color palette back up so you guys can see the comparisons, where I got my colors from, and yeah, I really enjoyed this one. Yeah, that's it. This that's it. I don't have a whole lot else to say, except thanks for so much for being here. And I'm excited to continue with the series. Next video will be the Wicked Witch, so that one should be fun. So yeah, that's it for me today. Thank you guys so much for being here, and until next time, I'll see you later. Bye.